And we are live. All right, today is Game 5 of the World Series, 11/1, as you see down here. This stuff, I guess, first I do want to show a clip of this video that I made back in early August, where, here, I'll just play the end of it.
Makes it sickening. It seems like they are also tying in elements from this year's MLB season, which isn't a surprise as the two sports are closely related. Speaking of which, most of the MLC games this year were held in Grand Prairie, which is just down the road from Arlington, where the Texas Rangers play. This is the Rangers' 52nd season in Texas, and Texas Rangers equals 52, just like MI New York, and 74, just like Nicholas Puran. This is also the Rangers' 63rd season overall, and remember I stated at the beginning of the video that Major League equals 63 and the season began on 63 date numerology. The championship game was on a date with 44 numerology, and Rangers equals 44. You can expect the World Series to end on either October 31st or November 1st. October 31st is 93 days after the MLC championship game, and November 1st is 13 weeks and 3 days later, and MI New York equals 133. This date is, of course, written 11/1, and I've already touched on the importance of 111 multiple times in this video. Have we identified a World Series winner and a potential end date for the World Series? We shall wait and see.
Well, here we are, almost 3 months later, and right now I've got a 50% chance of being correct if the Rangers do win tonight. Something that I did not mention there, actually I'll come back to Major League Cricket, the connections with Major League Cricket in a bit. But first, let's just start off with the obvious things. Right now, Bruce Bochy has 56 playoff wins. And I noted at the beginning of the playoffs, I said if the Rangers win the World Series, Bruce Bochy will have 57 playoff wins all time. Tonight is also the Texas Rangers' 69th playoff game. Let me just show you that here. Texas Rangers playoff record. They have 68 playoff games. That's funny. They won their 68th playoff game yesterday, 11-7, 117 days after George Bush's birthday, who 68's basically all over his name. And if the Rangers win tonight, the American League got their 68th World Series championship. Where was I at? 57, and so that means tonight is their 69th playoff game. 57th playoff win, 69th playoff game for the Rangers. Where was it? That's right, and he has 37 playoff losses. And he also, when he became manager of the Rangers he had 44 playoff wins at the time, and Rangers is 37-44. Could end this World Series with 37 postseason losses. He entered this postseason with 44 postseason wins. This is also, where is it? Here it is. So obviously 162 games in the regular season. 164, 167, 174. Oops, I didn't mean to click on that. 178. That means tonight is their 179th game of the season. And Skull and Bones is 41. The series could end 4-1, just like the NBA and Stanley Cup Finals did, and 179 is the 41st prime number. Just to show you back in 2010, let's go to the 2010 World Series. The 2010 World Series ended on the same date. Bruce Bochy was managing the Giants. Now he's managing the Rangers. Started on October 27th, which is when this year started, ended today, 13 years ago. And the Giants got their 103rd win of the season. So they won 11 games in the playoffs. If the Rangers win tonight, let me just close that tab. I don't need that one. If you add them up, 90, 92, 95, 99, 102. That's funny. Last night was their 102nd win of the season. Art of War 102 and World War 102. 9/11 lasted 102 minutes, they say. Anyways, so that means if they win tonight, they'll get 103, just like the Giants did in 2010. Also in 2001, I'll show you here. In 2001, the Diamondbacks, they also went. The Diamondbacks went 11-6 in those playoffs, and as I showed in my video yesterday about Frank Howard, if you rotate 116 180 degrees, it looks like 9/11. They went 11-6 in those playoffs. You probably can't see it here, but you can go fact check that for me. So that means they finished 103-76. The Rangers, and there's 72 losses in the regular season, plus 3, that's 75, plus 4 is 76. If they win tonight, they'll have the same exact overall season record that the 2001 Arizona Diamondbacks did, and I'll just prove it to you here. So you can do the math right now. This right now is equals to 102 wins and 76 losses, and I'll show you. Arizona 2001, 92, 95, 99, 103, 70, 72, 73, 76. And that World Series ended on 11/4. Like how, so just show you World War 114 and 102. I was just talking about 102. Art of War 114 and 102. Remember in the ALCS, if we do 2023 ALCS. Yeah, here in the ALCS, the Rangers won Game 7, 11-4, and that was in Game 1 of this year's World Series was a span of 114 days after George Bush's birthday. And I think this game was 300. I want to say this game was 322 days after the anniversary of George H.W. Bush's George H.W. Bush's funeral. Sorry, I'm mixing up my words. Where was my last? Oh, in 76, Skull and Bones 76, right there. And the Rangers will also get currently the Rangers have 35 playoff losses all time, so if they win tonight, they'll stay on that. Skull and Bones is 149, and 149 is the 35th prime number. As for if they win tonight, they'll get playoff win number 34. I'll touch on the importance of 34 in a second. But first, just another parallel with the 2010 San Francisco Giants. So obviously Bruce Bochy was manager. They won 103 games. They won on November 1st. Those same two things could happen to the Rangers tonight if they win. And also, let's look. So we know this is the Rangers' playoff record. So 33 wins. If I write out San Francisco Giants playoff record from 1958 to 2010, because 1958 is when they moved from New York, and they won it in 2010. 34-36. So that means they had 34 wins. They won the 2010 World Series by getting their 34th win. And as you see there, they went 11-4 in those playoffs. They also went 10-7 in the 2002 playoffs. That was the year they lost in the World Series, and where they blew the lead in Game 6, just like in the. I'll just show you here. Let me go back here. Same thing happened with the Rangers in 2011. They also blew the lead in Game 6 of the 2011 World Series, lost in Game 7. That was the 107th World Series against the Cardinals. They went 10-7 in those years' playoffs, and Rangers is 107. So will history repeat itself with the... Oh, and I also, one other thing that's kind of trippy that I forgot to show you here. So back to the Giants. Before they won the World Series in 2010, the last time they had made the playoffs was 2003, so that's 7 years prior. The last time before this that the Rangers made the playoffs was 2016, which of course was 7 years prior. And look at the last playoff game that the Rangers played in 2006. It was a 6-7 loss. Now let's look at the... No, where is it? Oh well, okay. Let's see if I can just do... Okay, now I'll have to type it again. 2003, the Giants' last playoff loss, and that one was also 6-7. And if you watch the highlights from both of them, they're both kind of like gut-wrenching losses. In this game, the Giants were trying to tie it in the top of the ninth, and JT Snow got thrown out at the plate on a single into left field. And then if I can find it now, in this game here, I think the Rangers were in extra innings, I want to say, and yeah, in extra innings, and it was the Blue Jays beat out a double play. It was first and second, one out. Blue Jays beat out a double play, and the guy that started the play on second, he rounded third, he headed for home. They threw home, it wasn't in time. So both gut-wrenching losses in the playoffs 7 years prior, and this is both situations. It's their first playoff appearance in 7 years. Both Rangers are trying to win their 34th playoff game, just like the Giants did, on November 1st on the road. Bruce Bochy's the manager. A lot of parallels. Okay, finally time to move on. Osama bin Laden. This guy, or sometime maybe it was Tim Osmond, who knows? But anyways, Osama bin Laden, the alleged perpetrator of the mastermind behind 9/11. If you write out Osama bin Laden equals 110, like of the World Trade Center Towers 110. If you just write, yeah, 110 floors. There you go, 110 floors on the World Trade Center building. The Rangers, if they, there's the Rangers undefeated on the road. Let's just see if there's something that. Okay, well, these articles say they're 9-0, so that was written before yesterday's game. So now they're 10-0. If the Rangers win tonight, I'm pretty sure they'll be the first team to win 11 road games in the playoffs. Osama bin Laden equals 110. And this game is, if I can, give me a second here. Okay. So Osama bin Laden was born in 1957. And if he was still alive right now, he would be 69 years old. Is that right? No, he wouldn't be 69. He was born on the 69th day of the year in 1957. As I was just mentioning earlier, World Series 69-57, like how it's the Rangers' 69th playoff game, and Bruce Bochy can get his 57th playoff win. And they said Osama bin Laden died on 5/2. If I haven't mentioned it already in this stream, it is the Rangers' 52nd season in Arlington. And also just, if you write out bin Laden, it equals 34, like how the Rangers can get their 34th playoff win. And from today until the anniversary of his death is 6 months and 1 day, like how bin Laden equals 61. If you write out his full name is super long. His full name is that 261 and 126. It's also 26 weeks and 1 day until the anniversary of his death. And it's also because next year's a leap year, so there's 52 weeks and 2 days. That means today is also 26 weeks and 1 day from the anniversary of his death. And today is also, shoot. Okay, here it is. I'll just show you. George W. Bush. His birthday, 7/6. It's a span of 119 days, like how that 9/11 is written 11/9 in most of the rest of the world. And it's it's the 119th World Series. And also, one last thing on bin Laden. I was reading his Wikipedia page. And here they said that his favorite team was Arsenal. So just Arsenal in Gematria. It's 119. Come on, do you think he got a say in who his favorite football team was? Like if I can find his Wikipedia page. There it is. Do you think he made that choice? And of course, Arsenal, they ended up winning the Premier League. Here they won it in 01-02. Just to show you here. Premier League, first FA Cup winner. So they won the double in the season. Well, I think technically the season would have started just before 9/11, but they won the season that the season that 9/11 happened in. There's probably a better way of wording that, but you get what I mean. Of course, that was they say it was their 76th season in the top flight of English football. And if I didn't mention it already, Skull and Bones 76, like how the Rangers can stay on 76 losses for the season. And one other thing with that 2001-2002 Arsenal season, I can say, shoot, where do I find, where does it show their record? Okay, here it is. 26 wins and 3 draws. Where does that number come into play? So the three flights on 9/11 to hit buildings were flights 11, 175, and 77. That equals 263. And Skull and Crossbones, 263. 263, the 56th prime. Just like Society of Jesus, 56. I'm going to touch on 56 more in a little bit later in this stream. Oh, and I don't know if I may have forgot to talk about it, but tonight is the Diamondbacks' 57th playoff game all time. And I said Bruce Bochy is aiming for his 57th playoff win. Again, World Series equals 57. Oh, one last thing that I wanted to talk about with One last thing that I wanted to talk about with Arsenal and Osama bin Laden. So kind of speaking of human pieces of shit, like I used to watch a lot of soccer. I used to pay attention to Premier League. I always thought that Arsenal fans were the most annoying. And of course, this isn't indicative of all Arsenal fans, but now, whenever I think of I think of Arsenal Fan TV, which is that super hilarious. There's super hilarious clips of fans just like blaming everything about like the manager or ownership or whatever. And one of the main stars of that was this guy who, as you see here, was sentenced to 12 months imprisonment and a 10-year restraining order because he, well, it doesn't mention the, stalked his former partner as she went on a date. Okay, I don't really want to read this, but you get the point that this guy is a piece of shit, just like Osama bin Laden. And they're both Arsenal fans. You know, it's not indicative of all Arsenal fans, but you get the point. I mean, this guy is probably like the English version of Cuts One, and if you know what I'm talking about, then I think then you know what I'm talking about. And also, who's that other guy? You know, this guy, another human piece of shit. He's also an Arsenal fan. Okay, that's enough for the tangent. Tonight is the here as you see, this is the Rangers record against the Diamondbacks. Tonight is the 58th all-time matchup between the Rangers and Diamondbacks. Freemasonry is 58. Freemasonry is also 139, which is the 34th prime number, like how the Rangers can get their 34th playoff win. And there's something about... Oh, it's also 35 date numerology, like how the Rangers can stay on 35 playoff losses. Okay. And Corey Seager, who's likely to win MVP. His name is also 58 and 50. It's actually, if you... Here, just Corey Seager, Freemasonry. 58 and 59, right there. And here, let's go Texas. Texas became a state on 12/29. Unfortunately, 1229 is the 201st prime number. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But the father of Texas, as he's called, Stephen F. Austin. Remember, I mentioned this in a live stream earlier. What if I just do, let me just search state. Here we go. Stephen F. Austin State University. It said on May 11, 2023, so earlier this year, it joined the University of Texas system. Stephen F. Austin's birthday was November 3rd. So just from 5/11 to 11/3, well, it's funny that's 176, but a span of 177 days, Stephen F. Austin, 177 and 201. Just like how, and I'll talk about this more in a little bit, but he wasn't alive. You see, he died in 1836, shortly after Texas became independent from Mexico. So he wasn't alive when Texas became a state, but it was certainly still in tribute to him. 177, 201, just like the Jesuit order, 177, 201. Tonight is also the Rangers' 69th playoff game all time. The Jesuit Order 69. I'll talk more about 69 in a little bit when I talk about cricket. But anyways, back to this guy. I just searched 111. So he was, here we go. He was a Freemason and he was part of Lodge number 111. Today's date is 111. And if I didn't think I can talk about it here. Arizona right now as a state is 111 years old. And one other thing that I forgot to mention, the Diamondbacks manager, how do I even spell his name? There it is. Also, what's funny about Torey Lovullo, a couple years ago I was going through my baseball card collection back at home, and I saw that I had a Torey Lovullo baseball card when he was an assistant coach for the Buffalo Bisons, the AAA team. So that's kind of interesting. Anyways, this guy, if I can find his playoff record here, so he's 11-9 in the playoffs. So he fell to 11-9 in the playoffs by losing 11-7, 117 days after George Bush's birthday. And now he can fall to, if they lose tonight, they'll fall to 11-10. That's like 1-1-1. Arizona, the 111 years old. The date is 11/1. Back to Stephen F. Austin. So here we go. So as I just showed you, he was big into Freemasonry. He died at age 43. But if you go to Texas here, if I just search Republic of, where will it show me? Okay, Republic of Texas. So became independent from Mexico on March 2nd, 1836. That means that he was 42 years old. Wasn't quite 43. He was 42 years old when Texas became independent, and Freemason is 42. This is right, yeah. And let me look at my notes here. All right, and if he was still alive when Texas became a state, here we go. So Texas became a state on December 29th, 1845. So that means he would have been 52 years old, like how the Rangers are in their 52nd season right now. And when I found this out the other day, it kind of made me think, like, do they really script this stuff that far, like 150 to 200 years in advance? I mean, I doubt it, but it makes you wonder because, I'll just show you from 11/3/1793 until 12/29/1845. There we go. It was 56 days after he would have turned 52 years old. And I was just talking about 56 a minute earlier, with Society of Jesus being 56 and Skull and Crossbones being 263, the 56th prime. And I said this is the Rangers' 52nd season. Yeah, so of course they paid tribute to this guy, even though he was already dead when Texas became a state. He also died December 27th, 1836. So if I just do 12/27/1836 until the 1-year birthday of Texas, that was a span of 66 days, like how Texas equals 66. And also from today until the anniversary of his death, well, it's a span of 57 days like World Series, but it's also 56 days before the anniversary of his death, just to show you again. There's when he died at the age of 43. Just like how Society of Jesus is 191, which is the 43rd prime number. Yeah, and I talked about Stephen F. Austin State University joining the University of Texas system has a budget of $20.1 billion. I'm sure that's a coincidence. And I know I've talked about this already, but I just search Jester Dorm UT. Here, the largest, I think this dorm was at one point the largest dorm here it was the largest residence hall in North America at the time. Its address is 201 21st Street in Austin, and it's named after Beaufort Jester, the only Texas governor to die in office, who died at the age of 56. And it says about his death that... Where does it talk about his death? Yeah, only Texas governor to have died in office. He died unexpectedly of a heart attack on a train. Well, you think someone slipped something into his drink, maybe? Yeah, I'm sure it's a coincidence. He was also born on 112, like how Lone Star is 112. Lone Star is also 32. Like it's the 32nd. Oh no, how the Rangers can get there. If I show, where's M cubed? The Rangers, if they win tonight, will get their 32nd win over the D-backs all time. 32 is a huge number with Texas sports. So I showed you earlier how Texas Independence Day is 3/2. The Jesuits claim to operate in 112 countries, and there's 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. Also, anyways, back to... I'm going to move on from Stephen F. Austin. I want to talk about... Okay, I'll talk about that one a little bit later, but current governor, Greg Abbott. So he's born in 57, like World Series. He's born on the 317th day of the year, the 66th prime, like Texas. I've already talked about that in other videos before. But anyways, from today until his birthday, which is not very long, it is, it's not the 12th, it's the 13th. It is 12 days before his 66th birthday. Just to show you, here he is, his 66th birthday. He turns 66 on the 317th day of the year, the 66th prime. But so 12 days before his 66th birthday. Rangers is 37, which is the 12th prime. Texas is 66. Texas is also 15, like how 12 days is 1 week and 5 days. I do have plans to make another video about Greg Abbott, because I have doubts that he's actually really disabled and in a wheelchair. I have a video comparing it to Harrison Wells. I'm doing the research for that. If you don't know who Harrison Wells is, it's a character in The Flash that fakes being in a wheelchair. But that's another topic for another time. Corey Seager. Do I have his Wikipedia page up here? Yes, I do. Actually, I do want to go back to...
On July 30th, 2023,
Where was it? It would have been... Yeah, I think it was this one.
which is scheduled to be...
Let me see if I can find... It's very helpful that YouTube does this. These chapters. It makes it easier to find things, but sometimes it's not. Here we go, Corey Seager. Let's see, where do I start talking about him? So Adolis is not coming back. He's probably not going to win MVP of the series. Unless they say it's MVP of the whole playoffs, but I don't think they do that. Here, we'll listen to what I had to say about Corey Seager. Why is it not?
And the star of the Rangers, well, they have a few stars, but their main star, I'd say, is Corey Seager. And his birthday is April 27th. From his birthday until Game 5 of the World Series is 188 days later. Again, Bavarian Illuminati 188. And it's also a span of 179 days before his next birthday. So something to think about. I did also notice,
and just if in case, just for a refresher, Skull and Bones, I can type. Skull and Bones is 41, and 179 is the 41st prime. That's what I was talking about there.
Today. Okay, so the Twins did. Was that the Twins win today or yesterday? Okay, the Twins won today as well. So if you watched my live stream that I didn't really give the Rays or Blue Jays any chance. I didn't pick the individual series, but get to the World Hell. But the point that I wanted to make.
I guess that was all that I had mentioned about Seager. I thought unless I mentioned more that I just.
And look at today's date numerology.
Okay, maybe I guess that was it. Okay, actually, let me go back here because it's on the screen, so I can just show it up here. Go back. Here it is. No, maybe that's not it. Must be. Here we go. 266 and what was the other thing? And 65. The Jesuit. I don't know if it's the motto. I'm not sure exactly what the terminology is, but Jesus Hominum Salvator. 266. Also 85, like how the Diamondbacks. Here's the current Diamondback season. So 78 plus 3 is 81, plus 3 is 84. If they lose tonight, they will get their 85th loss of the season. And also, let me just put enter so I save it. Is it Templar? Yeah, Templar is 85. Templar is also 41. Could be the 85th loss of the season, losing the series 4-1. And with 65, Yale is 65. Yale is 40, like a George Bush was number 43. And one other thing with Corey Seager that I'm not really sure how he also wears number 5, like how if you're at a 5, it equals 66. Just like Texas, which has a 5-pointed star on its flag. I can't. Someone probably out there has the answer. I can't find the significance of him being 29 right now. I know that like shooting is 109, which is the 29th prime, but I mean I don't really. Aside from the Allen shooting, which definitely connected to this, and no doubt, because that was 175 days before Game 1 of the World Series, and if you write out City of Allen equals 105, and they said Texas Mall. The shooting was in a Texas mall, and Texas Mall equals 107, just like Rangers. So it was definitely the Allen shooting was definitely connected to this year's World Series, as I've talked about before. But I don't know not sure what the 29 connection is. If there was one possible 29 connection that I found is that in the I've talked about this before. The Cowboys' last Super Bowl championship was in Arizona. And it was on, there are 44 combined points. Rangers is 44. The Cowboys had 27 points. And Rangers also equals 107, like how the game, 107 is the 28th prime, and the game was on the 28th day of the year, was 28 years ago. Or, well, not yet, but almost 28 years ago. The season was 28 years ago. And if I can remember, as I type in 103, the Rangers win tonight. They'll get win number 103, which is the 27th prime. If I can find, here it is. And was there one more thing? Oh, that's right. The MVP, Larry Brown, who I've actually never heard of before. But today is 29 days before his birthday. He's also number 53. He's not number 53. He's 53 years old right now. That's what I meant to say. And again, Adolis Garcia wears number 53. Adolis is out right now. He's not coming back. But here's what's fascinating about his replacement, Travis Jankowski, and something that I was thinking about. So Jankowski's 32, like how Adolis Garcia was born on 3/2. I just talked about 32 a minute ago. And he was born on June 15th. Now, June 15th is interesting because it's the 166th day of the year. Secret Society 166. And 58, and also 77, like how George Bush is 77 years old right now. The All Texas ALCS, where George Bush is from, started on the day leaving 77 days left in the year. But let me pull up my notes. Here we go. From his birthday, so 6/15, until today is 139 days later. Obviously, Freemasonry 139, 34th prime. Rangers looking for win number 34, playoff win number 34. As I said, he is. Where is this Wikipedia page? Here it is. He's 32 years old. And I was reading through his Wikipedia page earlier today. It said he went to Stony Brook, and he was part of Stony Brook's Cinderella run to the 2012 College World Series. Now, it won't say it here, but this was the 76th, or sorry, not this was the 66th College World Series. And the reason why I know that is because it's a good way of. Let me just show you this year, the 2023 College World Series. It says it was the 76th. So 76 minus 10 is 66. 23 minus 10 is 2013. But remember, there was no tournament in 2020, which means you have to go back 11 years to find the 66th tournament, which would have been 2012. Okay, now that and again, Texas is 66, if I didn't say that already. With this tournament, so Stony Brook entered the tournament with 57 games played. World Series 57, Diamondbacks 57th playoff game. Yesterday, which was his first start. Yesterday, which was his first start, was the. No, sorry, that's not it. Yesterday, which was his first start, was the 57th all-time matchup between the between the Diamondbacks and Rangers. Anyways, back to Jankowski and the 2012 Stony Brook team. So 57 games played entering the tournament. And then they made it all the way to Omaha. And they had 52 wins by the time they got to Omaha. And this is the Rangers' 52nd season. Now they went 2-out. They lost both their games. They had. What was the point I wanted to make? Oh yeah, that's right. Arizona won the College World Series that year, and the College World or not the World Series will end in Arizona if the Rangers win tonight. And also Stony Brook in the Super Regionals knocked off LSU, and LSU won the College World Series this year, which was the 76th edition, just like how the Rangers can stay on 76 losses for the season. And also, if you write out his name, Travis Jankowski equals 202, also and 58. So we have here, Skull and Bones 202, and Freemasonry 58. And we just do find matches. And he also has a match with Corey Seager. Cool. And also, I don't know if I talked about it, but he wears number 16, 53. He's replacing Adolis Garcia, who wears number 53, and 53 is the 16th prime, and he's 32 years old right now, like how Adolis was born on 3/2. And his full name is Travis Paul Jankowski. Travis Paul Jankowski, 261. I already talked about that with Bin Laden. I saw Bin Laden's. I think I may have closed Bin Laden's Wikipedia page, but anyway, Bin Laden's full name is also 261. Like it's 26 weeks and 1 day after the anniversary of his death. What else have I not talked about? Okay, one last thing. Actually, I guess two more things. I think I talked about this in a live stream the other day, how the media keeps making a big deal about how 2 years ago, in 2021, the Rangers lost 102 games and the Diamondbacks lost 110. Those are big 9/11 numbers. 110 stories on the World Trade Center towers. Osama bin Laden equals 110. Art of War 102. World War 102. 102 Minutes That Changed America. I think that's what the documentary is called. Yeah, there it is. One last thing with this year's Rangers. Here we go. So they can go 13-4 in the playoffs if they win today. Just to show you, 2-0 plus 3-0, that's 5-0. 5-0 plus 4-3, that's 9-3. Plus 3-1, that's 12-4. If they win tonight, they'll be 13-4 in the playoffs. Just want to show you this article here from on Zach's old blog. It talks about the importance of 134. Netanyahu, the guy who, here just to show you, Benjamin Netanyahu, he retook over as prime minister on 12/29, 201st prime, which is the date that Texas, as a state, became 177 years old. And the Jesuit order 177 and 201, 12/29 is the 201st prime. Anyway, so Netanyahu 134. Netanyahu also 44 and 37, just like Rangers. I've already talked about that. I guess Netanyahu 109 is the 29th prime, like how Seager is 29 years old right now. Yeah, Rangers equals 44. Here we go, 134. Netanyahu 134. New World Order. Tisha B'Av. 9/11 happened during Tisha B'Av. 9th of Av, which is the translation of Tisha B'Av. Make America Great Again is also 134. Does that mean that Donald Trump's going to become president next? I don't know. And also, I think I did a live stream. It's weird because I did a live stream talking about 134, having no idea it was going to be a factor in this year's World Series. I'll just show you guys. Those are, yeah, I'm probably reading. Well, it doesn't look like it's the same exact article, but talking about all these 134s. Did I mention? I must have mentioned that Terrorize is 134. Yeah, because I was talking about this Under Siege Dark Territory with Steven Seagal, how they use this satellite weapon to launch an earthquake in China or something like that. Well, these guys aren't the one that did it. Someone like hacked into the system and did it, but right, because that movie came out 13 weeks and 4 days after Steven Seagal's birthday. Then I talk about all the 134s there. Yeah, that's the same article. Yeah, Terrorize 134. Just to show you, Terrorize 134. Also 109. Starting to lose my breath. Talking too much. Anyways, there's all these 134s. And also one other thing with Netanyahu, I think. I know I mentioned this in a live stream a few weeks ago. Where do I just type it in? Here it is. Right now, it's the 37th cabinet of Israel, 37th government of Israel. Again, Rangers is 37. I think did Zach mention here that, yeah, Netanyahu's also 37. So Netanyahu and Terrorize. Let's look at that. Netanyahu and Terrorize. And look at that, 134, 109. And they say that the IDF, Israeli Defense Force, they're terrorizing the people of Gaza. I mean, hopefully this doesn't. Hopefully, another world war is not going to break out Um, Again, Art of War 39, just like how this game is in Arizona 39. Arizona was in the 01 World Series right after 9/11. Let's see if anyone is saying stuff in the chat. Yeah, thanks, Toned In. Oh, what's okay? That's sorry. I was just looking at something. Yeah, 11 road. Marcus responding, looking at your comment. 11 road wins for Rangers on 11-1. I mean, that certainly makes sense. Going 11-0, and there's all the Osama bin Laden connections with tonight's game. Osama bin Laden 110. Torey Lavello falling to 11-10, like 1-1-1 in the playoffs. Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona 85. Corey Drusy, what are you saying? Hold on. Yeah, so Corey C was born on the 27th of the month, like how Rangers can get their 103rd win. Oh yeah, and Corey, that yesterday they won 11-7, 117 days after George Bush's birthday. Okay, now on to one last thing. Oh, what's a good page to show up? I do want to make a score prediction for tonight's game. Let me switch the screen. Here we go. I do want to make a score prediction for tonight's game. So these are the scores in games 1, 2, 3, and 4. 6-5, 1-9, 3-1, 11-7. So a total of 43 runs, 22 for Arizona, 21 for Texas, and George Bush was number 43. Let's just say, now I know this is going to sound kind of obvious, but I do think there's a good chance that the Rangers win 11-9 tonight, because that means there would be 63 runs scored in the series. The Rangers would have 32 runs scored, getting their 32nd win over the Diamondbacks. And 63 is important because here I have to switch the screen back. Okay. Major League Cricket. I've talked about this. This is because I went to one of these games because it's not far from where I live, and it was after the Major League Cricket final that I realized that it was connected with the World Series and likely connected with the Rangers. And I showed you the video at the beginning of the stream where I said, hey, this lines up with the Rangers, and it's probably going to end either on Halloween or November 1st. Now we'll see if that happens. We're almost there. But what I wanted to point out about this game is the first ever game was won by Texas with 69 runs. And now I can't. Oh, it was on here. I'm going to go back a little bit. Let me go back to.
On July 30th, 2023, MI New York won the inaugural Major League and how this world in Grand Prairie, Texas. This was a date with 63 numerology and Major League equals 63. The Texas Super Kings won by 69 runs, and Texas equals 69, just like cricket. The championship was eventually won by MI New York.
Okay. Anyways, the point, 63 date numerology. 69 runs scored. Why is that important? Because well, it's not. I don't know. Here we go. Texas Rangers 69th playoff game. Will there be 63 total runs scored in the World Series? And we'll find out. And also from that day, so that was on July 13th. From that until today is 111 days. Major League Cricket is 111. It's also 177. I already talked about that. Major League Cricket 111. The team that won it is the New York team. New York 111. Like how 9/11 was on the day, leaving 111 days left in the year. And there was the, here, if I move forward a little bit, here, this guy, Rashid Khan. John Boy actually had a segment on him yesterday. And yeah, his name is 93, like how he allowed 9 runs and recorded 3 wickets. New York also 39. And yeah, Rashid Khan also 177. Where did I mention that he's he is. Here we go. Okay. Oh, and also the one other thing that is funny about this, they say it's match 1 of 19, like 119. But what I wanted to talk about was kind of the 2 guys that helped guide New York to win the Major League Cricket Championship were Rashid Khan and Nicholas Pooran. And this guy, Nicholas Pooran, he was born on 10/2, like 102. And Rashid Khan, he was born on September 20th. Now, September 20th is, oh, that's not what I wanted to show up. September 20th is the 263rd day of the year and also the day leaving 102 days left in the year. So it's clearly synced with him. Again, 263, the 56 prime, 3 planes that hit buildings. The flight numbers add up to 263. I already talked about that in this live stream. Too many tabs. I can't find where I was. Right, and this game was on July 30th. From July 30th until, yeah, and it's 3 months and 2 days, like 32 after that. It's also a span of 13 weeks and 4 days, like how the Rangers can become 13-4 in the playoffs if they win tonight. And this game was also 69 days before 10/7, which is the day the U.S. invaded Afghanistan, and the day the Rangers won their 93rd game of the season. Okay, and I guess there is one more thing that I can talk about. Ian Kinsler, who's the former Ranger. He was the manager for the Israeli team at the World Baseball Classic this year, where, actually, I don't know if it'll show it here, but they went 1-3 in the World Baseball Classic, like how 41's the 13th prime. Anyways, his name equals 68. This guy is Jewish, by the way. His name also equals 112. If you just write out Kinsler equals 101, also equals 34, like how the Rangers can get their 34th playoff win. In regards to 101, that's the 26th prime. The Rangers have 26 losses against the D-backs, and they might stay there. Kinsler is also from Arizona, where this World Series is. And yeah, the game is being played. I didn't spell Phoenix right. Phoenix equals 26. If you write out his full name, Ian Michael Kinsler equals 107, like Rangers, also equals 102, I think. The Texas Rangers? No, maybe it's just Rangers is 82. Okay, that's what it was. And they're just missed being an opportunity for this to sync up with it, unless Wikipedia changes his birthday, but I doubt that'll happen. From his birthday, okay, well no, that's funny. It was 107. So I didn't even notice that. So he is Jewish, and the Israel-Palestine conflict, which was on 10/7, the day the Rangers got their 93rd win of the season, that was 107 days after his birthday. That's funny. I did not know that. Anyways, until today, so the Rangers can become 13-4 in the playoffs if they win. It is a span of 133 days, so it doesn't quite sync up with him. But I do think it is kind of, I mean, he is 41 years old. He's from Arizona. And the Rangers could win the World Series 4-1. What was I think? I thought there was a 34th playoff win. I could have sworn there was another 34 connection with him, but maybe not. Or sorry, I thought there was another 41 connection, but I guess not. When was his birthday? Well, that's fine. His birthday was on the 173rd day of the year. Well, I guess 40th prime doesn't really mean anything, but Texas Rangers 173. And I think I said he was born in 82. And what was his? There was an 82 somewhere in here. I saw it. Yeah, so his full name is 82, just like Texas Rangers. And 107. Yeah, and 107, that was one of the things that I caught on to early on. Yeah, like I was just talking about. I don't have it up anymore, but there. With the 107 thing, the day that U.S. invaded Afghanistan 22 years ago, and the day that the Israel-Palestine conflict this year began. That was one of the first things that I caught on to, because I don't know. Oh crap, I must have closed it. But from the Major League Cricket Championship until Game 1 of the World Series. Oh no, it wasn't that. It was from the first day of the Major League Cricket Championship to Game 1 of the World Series. It was a span of 107 days. And that made me, when I first, I know I did a live stream on that. That was back in, I want to say that was back in early August. Yeah, here it is. I think World Series foreshadowing. Yeah, I talk about it right here. How it was 107 days before, a span of 107 days before the World Series. I thought at that time that it meant, as you can tell by the thumbnail, that it was probably going to be Dodgers Rangers. I mean, we weren't that far off. D-backs knocked out the Dodgers, and if I had known that Arizona was 111 years old as a state, I think I would have put more weight on thinking about them. But you can't get them. You can't get everything right. I think I need to talk. So I think I kind of proved the point about the potential of the score ending 11-9, the year of the 119th World Series with 63 combined runs. That would tie in with Major League Cricket. Also, oh, there's a cat somewhere outside. Well, actually, is it? I can't remember. Is it 63? Jesuit or no? It's the Jesuit or 69. Like tonight's the Rangers' 69th playoff game. Can't remember if I talked about that yet or not. Dang, the game's almost started. It must have been, I don't know how long I've been doing this stream. Yeah, 11-9 would make a lot of sense. A span of 119 days after George Bush's birthday, ending with 63 runs. Because that would tie in with the cricket season. 32, that would tie in with 32 sunrays on the Jesuit logo in Texas Independence Day. And 31 is the 11th prime, like it's the first day of the 11th month. It could also end, if it ends 11 to 1, that would actually 11. If it ended 11-0, I mean, that wouldn't be that surprising either, because then there'd be 54 total runs scored for the series. And the thing is with Stephen F. Austin, here, so he was born, he died 54 days after his birthday, just to show you. 11-3 to 12/27. Yeah, he died 54 days after his birthday. So I think 11 is going to factor into this game one way or another. You know, the first game of the series had 11 runs. Trying to think if there's any other scores that make sense. So how many? Forget how many. So there's 43 combined. Maybe if there was like, I guess it could. The final score could be like 5-4, and then that would Phoenix 26. D-backs stay on 26 wins against the Rangers all time in the Rangers' 52nd season. I think that could happen as well. I mean, at this point, guessing the score is just kind of like extra credit. Okay, I think I've said everything. Well, I don't know if I've said everything that needs to be said, but I've said a lot of things that need to be said. I think I've said enough for this live stream. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see how the game goes.